Hello my friends and welcome back. It's Monday, the beginning of new week, the beginning of new opportunities for me and you, and we're gonna survive this week. I'm sorry to announce, but I have to start this video again. We're gonna watch a video how people in Kyiv start their week. At the same time I'm smiling here talking to you. This is a woman in Kyiv in her apartment with her cat. Cats and dogs, they don't understand what's going on. For them, it's the end of the world. For a person, you might think, maybe I don't get hit with a bomb. For a cat, it's just noise and explosions and vibrations everywhere. For her, it's the end of the world. So, just to give you a comparison of worlds, think about where you're going to work today, how nice and non-violent it is without any drones and bombs falling. It's a blessing. And this is Kramatorsk, one of the towns, Ukrainian towns closer to the front. And kids are of course playing outside, just playing like any other day. But Russian drones are hunting them. Russian bombs, glide bombs are falling. So this is their life. Okay, I just wanted to get that off my chest. I want to provide you with perspective of how good you and my life in the West actually is. But now we go to news from Ukrainian War, and I'm glad to announce that Ukrainians are sending some back to Russia, because in this video, and I have many videos like that for you, like in the last 3 days this all happened. This is Velika Lepetika. And Russians have these command points or ammunition stockpiles, nothing compared to 2022 when they just stocked it outside in the piles. Now they're a little bit smarter, they're putting it inside the buildings. What Ukrainians are doing is they have these French hammer glide bombs, like the Russian glide bombs, but more precise. And they just send 1 to 2 with the help of the Air Force. You can see, the MiG flying right here actually doing his duty. And exactly into where it needs to go, eliminating frontline ammunition stockpiles and command points as soon as they discover them. Now, this was in the south. Now we jump to Kursk, because the exact same thing happened in Kursk. Ukrainian Air Force is hunting Russian command points and ammunition stockpiles. You see, just like that, all it takes is 1 to 2 precise glide bombs. You don't even need to demolish the building, you just eliminate that site completely. Nothing inside here will live, I think. It was 2 bombs in this case. And they're French glide bombs. They're really precise and really good. The only minus is there's not that many of them. One more I want to show you. This one is in Kursk also, but in this case it's not the glide bomb that Ukrainians are using. It's the scouts from the 92nd Assault Brigade actually. We have given them a few trucks actually. You have donated for it. I have a hat from them. I wear it in the summer. It's a very nice hat. Code 92, and they are using in this case artillery on this Russian logistics base, enemy logistics base. Why they know it is they have a recon drone up, they see cars and coming and going, and they have Russian Ural trucks parked right here and inside these small hangars or garages also. And then they guide the coordinates, of course, and it's not like Russian-style artillery barrage where you level a whole area. Ukrainians have precise guided artillery rounds, and they only take 2 rounds in this case. They cannot waste more because it's a very deficited round. So they send 2 and that's enough. That's the difference between a Russian artillery barrage and a Ukrainian barrage. Russians just send a whole battery firing in a certain wide area. Ukrainians pinpoint. Now, my friends, I want to introduce you to another Russian Frankenstein. They come out with new designs every week, almost every day, and I try to keep you up to date. In this case, I think it's a Lada truck with fishnets, whatever are on top of it. Why I'm showing you this is because we have the aftermath also. Russians made about 3 to 4 of these, and they sent them on frontal assault, full throttle to the enemy lines, and we actually even have a video, but I'm not going to show you the video. You know why, it's YouTube. This was before and this was after. But now, I mean, you would think in this war you would see more paratrooping, amphibious landings or chopper landings on enemy territory, for example, much like we saw in Vietnam, where United States Marines they did all of that stuff under fire even. We don't see that much in this war, but we see some, and it happened in Kozinka in Belgorod Oblast, Russia, where a Russian volunteer corps, legendary unit, and Siberian battalion landed 2 Black Hawk helicopters, UH-60 Black Hawks, to Belgorod, and a whole squad exited from both of them and took positions. Let's watch the video just because it exists, because I think this is awesome. That's all I got. It's just awesome. Look at it. Black Hawk landing, a whole squad exiting from it, immediately taking circular defense, and then exiting, connecting to the forests, taking positions and advancing on enemy. And the second one, we can see it right now, landing on another field about 200 meters away, and occupying other defensive positions. This is aggressive offensive tactics. I apologize for my English, sometimes I cannot find the words. My friends, Trump has unleashed an unprecedented trade war, and whoever owns these news houses pushes their own agenda with the wording, for example. This is why I bring to you Ground News, the #1 news comparison site in the world, and it's a great tool I use. Here we have EU to prepare countermeasures to the US, and we can see the coverage details immediately on the right. Here you can see the bias distribution right below it, visualizing it where these news houses and news pages are with their political standing. We have the factuality right here, which I would call the most important of all. Of course, we have the ownership tab, which shows you very nicely and visually who owns it and what might be their agenda. Now here we can see all of the articles, and very interesting is to see where their wording differs. Title by title, news site to news site, you can just see it right here compared to each other. For example, we have the NOS media conglomerate. It immediately tells you that. It's a media conglomerate. We have the local AT, high factuality. These things are very important if you choose what to fill your mind with. Gotta be high factuality, gotta be center. All of these tools are very easily accessible for you, and for a limited time, you can get the same plan I use for nearly half of the price. Just go to ground.news/Artur or scan the QR code on the screen to get their unlimited access Vantage plan for just $5 a month. Or gift it to someone you know and have more informed conversations. Call out one-sided narratives and have more in-depth conversations about the stories shaping our world. I only promote brands I vet, and I think you will find Ground News as valuable as I do. Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring today's video. Now, my friends, I want to show you some Russian videos coming from Russian drones. I think we have to talk about them also to balance out the information sphere a little bit, because pro-Ukrainian bloggers tend to only watch Russian losses and stuff like that. So Russians, the thing is, for some reason, they're not able to make heavy drones like Vampir or Baba Yaga. They cannot replicate them. I don't know why, but they haven't been able to. And they're really afraid of them because they make a lot of losses to Russians. You can see it on this video. This is a Ukrainian Baba Yaga drone carrying heavy munitions, dropping them on Russian positions. So what the Russians do is they hunt them with their own FPVs or regular drones, civilian drones with a string with weights or rope with weights attached to it. Let's watch it. In this case, you can see the rope with weights. This is a Ukrainian Baba Yaga, and it's trying to hit it. It missed it narrowly, right? But it is not able to hit it because a Russian FPV does the job before. Check it out. It should be here any moment now. You saw. Tried to hit it with a rope, but couldn't. Another drone pilot hit an FPV straight into the Baba Yaga. See, Russians are not able to replicate the drones, so they try to destroy them as fast as possible. And that's a new tactic they have started to use. I have another video for you here. It's a compilation. And in this case, you can see how it released a rope onto Ukrainian FPV. In this case, you can see the same thing. Yes, and the rope releases because it's connected to a magnet. So it's a new tactic we see Russians using, also just ramming Ukrainian FPVs with their own FPVs. I'm not going to show the rest, you get the idea, but just for the fact that to balance out the picture a little bit, Russians are also adapting as fast as they can, destroying very expensive Ukrainian Baba Yaga drones. I know because I funded, with your help, several of them. The record fundraiser was 180,000. We bought a lot of Baba Yagas with that money, and Russians are hunting these very same drones. Now I show you Ukrainians making anti-personnel munitions for the drones. They make them on the front. Russians are doing the same, but in this case it's a Ukrainian video. You see, this is what the Baba Yagas can drop. It's massive, right? It's absolutely a behemoth of a munition for a drone to drop. It can only carry about one of these, but they fill it up with explosives and with any kind of metal debris they can find. And here you can see the debris. And this is anti-personnel, of course. They don't drop this on vehicles, maybe soft vehicles like Ural trucks or Bukhankas. But this is for personnel, and it does a lot of damage. It's like a cluster munition, but on a smaller scale. And this is how they put them together. In this specific instance, it's an FPV explosion, not a Baba Yaga droppable munition. This is going to be an FPV explosion. And look at this one now. They are gluing chainsaw, how do you call this? I'm sorry, but they gluing it on top of the munition. So when it explodes, they spin outwards. They can even sever limbs of the occupiers. On Friday, Gerassimov came out with a communication straight to Putin. He was talking it straight to Putin, officially claiming that North Korea is a Russian ally and they have deployed thousands, over 10,000 troops to the Russian side. Official information. Before that, Russians denied it, North Koreans denied it, but now it's official. And then North Korea, after that, since they came out of the closet with that information, North Korea also publicly announced that they were sending and are sending their troops to Russia. So now it's a public official statement that it's Russia and North Korea versus Ukraine. Fighting on European soil, North Korean troops. So I just want to say that so everybody knows it's a public announcement now. How do you feel about that? Lavrov, Russian foreign minister, comes out with a communication that is so damn stupid. Trump is trying to get that nuclear deal with Iran. And, it's not going so well. And Iran is Russia's closest ally. I try to explain this always to Americans, that it's not Trump talking to Russia, Trump talking to Iran, Trump bombing Houthis. It's all one front. Iran provides Russia with massive amounts of drones, massive amounts of missiles. Iran funds Houthis in Yemen, who Trump is bombarding. Trump is fighting the symptoms, not the root cause. The root cause is Russia. All of it comes from Russia. So, Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov says Russia would be willing to store Iran's enriched nuclear material if the US and Iran want. So they're like, hey, US, we want to make a compromise with you. We want to be friends with you. You want to make a deal with Iran? Maybe we can store them enriched uranium. They're going to give them the bomb straight out. They're close allies. They have publicly come out with a report signed by Iran and Russia that they are close allies in this war. So if United States would agree to this, it would be basically giving Iran the bomb. Let's see what Trump does. Now we jump to Russia, Vladimir region. Yes, my friends, there is a region called Vladimir. Vladimir in Russia, I think it's in old Russian, means to rule the world, or ruler of the world, Vladimir. It's strange, I know. But in Russia, Vladimir region, where a ammunition depot exploded, the ruling party, Единая Россия, which means United Russia, they, okay, we gotta do something. The big explosion happened, people suffered, homes were destroyed. What are we gonna do? And they decided to give the guys, the families who were suffering, the babushkas, grandmothers, toilet paper. Massive amount of toilet paper. If you lost your home, if you lost your dog maybe in that explosion, here's some toilet paper for your troubles. Oh man, only in Russia. And we continue on only in Russia topic because this gets better. I kid you, it's not a meme. This is actually happening, Then Babede, 9th of May for the Russians. They're so horny about that date. It's the Victory Day Parade. And it's the Russian religion. It's not Orthodox Christianity. It's the Victory Day Parade. They worship, in the weirdest way, death. Death. Just death of 9th of May of Second World War. The Russian equivalent of Starbucks, and by the way, this is a full copy of Starbucks, they even have the green picture here, started printing veterans of the Great Patriotic War on disposable coffee cups. Disposable. Check this out. This woman is trying to get a coffee 80 years since Babeda and turns it around and there's somebody's dead great-grandfather on top of that coffee cup. First of all, you gotta buy that coffee. You gotta drink out of somebody's dead great-grandfather. It's good coffee. Tastes like Ivan from the 30s. And then it's disposable, so you throw it away. It's supposed to be a veteran, a hero, but you throw it away like it's trash. It's very symbolic because they threw away men like it's nothing. Stalin said, no man, no problem. So a coffee cup, empty cup, throw it away, no problem. Doesn't matter, it has the face of a hero on top of it. That's how Russia treats its heroes. Now we go to space. Yeah, I kid you not, we go to space because Russia launched a very suspicious secretive satellite before the full-scale invasion. A few months, actually, I think it was a few weeks before, in February 2022, they launched a satellite that the whole of the world was whispering, okay, this satellite it's weaponized. It's meant to destroy United States satellites. What is it going to do up there? Russians denied everything. Well, now it turns out that the satellite, this very same one, has been rotating strangely in space and since November in 2024. And now experts are saying it directly that it is no longer working. So Russian tech, especially Russian high tech, if there is anything like that, tends to be very expensive and very much not working. So the more they do these tests and trying to launch a robot to the moon or to the Mars or to the space, it's better because it's very expensive. And they usually almost always fail on it. And Putin is allocating quite a lot of money to it. So it's nice to see their billions burning. Alright, my friends, Monday edition of butchering of the channel's main members, Buy Me a Coffee monthly members who are the foundation of everything I do. We have GDBS, that's it, that's the name. I say it how I read it. Adrian Kreen. Rapp 4656. Legimees. Legimees in Estonian means flame man. So Mr. Flame Man, nice. David Morse. Brukke Vidnal. Thank you to all of you for becoming a monthly member. If you want to support the channel, links in the description below. Now, my friends, we're gonna go to Pope's funeral. Funeral. Yes, Pope's funeral. Almost all of the leaders of the free democratic world were present, represented on the Pope's funeral. I think even Russia was present, like a minor diplomat was present. Well, we begin with Zelensky entering, and as always, when Zelensky enters, the free world starts applauding because everybody knows deep down inside he's fighting for all of us, not only for all of us, but for the way of life you and me live. We watched that video of Kramatorsk children and the woman with the cat in Kyiv at the beginning of this video. We don't have to live like that. You know why? Because they are fighting for us. This is why everybody is clapping. Leaders of the free world are clapping when Zelensky enters the room, although it is the Pope's funeral. They know what's up. You and me, we know what's up. Zelensky is a true hero. Okay, let's go on with that, because Zelensky met with a lot of guys. He met with Macron, especially. What a bromance, man. Look, it's the Pope's funeral, but you can still zip tea with your French buddy. Yeah, met with Macron, with Meloni, Italy, and that's not it. There's more. He met with Donald Trump. Like, they sat down and talked. But before I get to it, I gotta show you Trump. Look, a massive amount of free world leaders all wearing black, and then there's Trump wearing blue. The only one who is wearing blue. And the same outfit he wears when he has a party in Mar-a-Lago. He don't care. He can wear blue. He just doesn't care at all that the Pope is dead. And look at this dude. This is the Estonian president. This is my president. A very, very wise man and a very reserved individual. Very controlled, opposite of Trump. You know why they put him next to Trump? I gotta show you. Because this Estonian president was seated next to Melania, next to Trump. Look at that. They're not seated now, but Trump, Melania, and Estonian President Alar Karis. I think I know why they put him there. It's a strategic move by the Italians, by the Vatican, because Estonians are very, they're not like me. They're very reserved usually, very phlegmatic, calm people. There's no way in hell any drama can start when Estonian president sits next to Melania and Trump, because we don't like that drama. I think they were, okay, it's the Pope's funeral. We don't want no drama with Trump. Let's put the Estonian president next to him. It's like a safe buffer zone, because no drama can start from there. It's not possible. But Trump wore blue, so still drama started. Just for the fact that he wore blue on the funeral. All right. Now we go to Macron, Trump and Zelensky. It gets very spicy, because the Italian dudes, they set up a special meeting area for Trump and Zelensky. They put up 3 chairs also for Macron. Check it out. Trump, Zelensky going. Macron is coming. Shakes Zelensky's hand, does the bro thing. Hey, brother. And then Trump is like, hey, Macron, okay. And Macron wishes well for Zelensky. And Trump wants to shake his hand. And what Macron does is, I'm not going to shake your hand. We don't like you in France. I'm not going to. And then he leaves. Didn't shake his hand. Big, massive balls. Respect Macron. And then Zelensky and Trump had their talk. It lasted quite a while. And they whispered. Nobody knew what they talked about. But they whispered some stuff. And after that, Trump came out with a report. He said it that Putin might be playing me. I don't know what Zelensky said, but Trump might start to realize something. Now, my friends, we go to, I kid you not, we go to India and Pakistan. I mean, I wanted to cover this for a few videos, but okay, I'm not going to do it. But this thing is too big to ignore right now. So, India and Pakistan, there was a massive terrorist attack when J.D. Vance visited India. A massive attack. Look, J.D. Vance visited the Pope. The Pope died. Visited India. There was a massive terrorist attack. And now India and Pakistan are absolutely trying to go to war over this. J.D. Vance is a cursed individual. Well, Pakistan now, I'm just here to report. I'm not an expert on this topic. I just read it and I try to give you the most important information on the compact way. Pakistan is now conducting daily Air Force sorties on the Indian border. See, you can see it on the video right here. Things are getting very heated. I'll just get over it very quickly. India launched a massive number of cruise missiles very close to Pakistan maritime borders. They had a training of the Navy. And Indian Navy it packs a punch. And they also have an aircraft carrier. Indian aircraft carrier is now deployed to the Arab Sea, quite close to the Pakistani borders. They have, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they have even F-16s, F-18s. Please do correct me here. Also, what India did is they are hunting down the perpetrators of this attack that happened after J.D. Vance visited Modi in India. Well, they blew up one of the perpetrators' house in Pakistan. So this is getting very heated. And after that, Pakistan deployed artillery and armor to the border. We have videos of that, of the armor and artillery going to the border. And these are United States made 155mm M109s, self-propelled howitzers. And India also fields US-made weapons. So it's US-made weapons versus US-made weapons, India and Pakistan. It's a strange situation, very strange. And you can see here Chinese-made tanks. Actually, Type 59 MB main battle tank with a 105mm tank gun, main gun. They're deploying that to the border. And first clashes have happened already, because here we have a Pakistani convoy that was ambushed by the Indian forces, and they were destroyed, and there were actually 10 KIAs on the Pakistani side. There are also already casualties. These two have been trying not to go to war for the last 100 years, or 80 actually. We are closest to that point right now of them going to war. How it all started, after, okay, there was the terrorist attack, right? Then India, it got so mad. They closed the Indus River, like one of the biggest rivers in the area that feeds a massive portion of Pakistani agriculture. They closed it with a dam, right? They have a dam here. They closed all the valves, taking away, fields are drying up pretty much. They have a capacity to do that. And you know what they did after that? The water rose, the water level rose. They released the valves, creating a man-made flood, a massive flood in Pakistan. Look at that. For India, it costs nothing. Close the valves, open them. For Pakistan, it's almost a humanitarian catastrophe. So these two are not messing around right now. Look at that flood. This is it on that topic. I'll keep you posted on just what's going, if a full-blown war starts there, it's too big to ignore. So I'll just tell you what I see. Now, my friends, we go to Iran. I know we jump around all of the globe, but in Iran, an explosion happened much like in Beirut in 2020, which almost, it pushed entire country back 15 to 20%. The explosion in Beirut, well, a similar explosion with the same situation happened in Iran. Iran, of course, blamed Israel immediately, but actually it wasn't. We have plenty of videos of what actually happened. They were storing, I'm sorry for my English here if I say this wrong, ammonia nitrate. It will fertilize, you can make fertilizer out of it, you can make rocket fuel out of it. It's very flammable. You got to store it the right way, not all together, punched up, heating up in the sun, one spark and things can happen. This has happened in Beirut. Massive amount of that went up in flames. The same thing happened here. They don't have the rules or regulations how to store this stuff. It's very dangerous. It has happened many times before. It's not the first time. And they, of course, blame Israel, but actually it's just a careless smoking incident, honestly. Nobody attacked. There's no airstrikes. There were secondary explosions after the first one. It just spewed out and there were more flammables around. And you cannot extinguish these fires. You just gotta wait until it all burns out, unless you have very modern foam extinguishers, powder extinguishers, because with water you cannot do that. It's too chemical to go out like that. But it's big enough to take away from Iranian GDP, because this is a port where a lot of their import and export goes through. If something burns there, it affects their ability to export and import. So it's actually affects their economy big time. But it was an accident. It wasn't anybody's attack. All right, my friends, thank you for trusting your time with me. Promise not to waste it. And I will be back for you on Wednesday and then on Friday. And then for members of the channel, not on Buy Me a Coffee, but on YouTube, actually, if you're a member, on Saturday also. 4 extra videos per month for YouTube members, so sign up. Until my next video, my friends, Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye. Thank you, Crown News, for sponsoring today's video.